Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is the hours 4 p.m. I am calling to order the St. Louis County Council Committee of the Whole. We are considering appointments to the following boards and commissions: Industrial Development Authority, Civil Service, Housing Resources, Equalization, and Business Advisory Council. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Days,
Here.
Councilmember Dunaway, Councilmember Fitch,
Here.
Councilmember Webb,
Present.
Councilmember Clancy,
Here.
Councilmember Tracus,
Present.
Councilmember Harder.
Present.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. The committee takes official notice of and admits into evidence all St. Louis County ordinances and resolutions. We have quite a bit on the agenda today, so I hope that the council members have their questions and ready. And we will begin with a reappointment with Mr. Ashwin Dundu. Mr. Dundu?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you? There you go. All right.
There we go.
We've had you sitting in the queue for a little while now, so let's get this over with. All right. Would you introduce yourself very briefly? We have all received resumes from all of the potential commission and board members. So with that, would you just briefly introduce yourself, please, and tell us why you want to be reappointed to this board?
Sure. Again, my name is Ashwin Dundu. I'm currently a director of finance at a company called Reliant Care Management. We own and manage nursing homes throughout the state of Missouri. Been with the company for about 17 years now. Yeah, I'd like to be reappointed to the IDA. It's been a tremendous experience. Always wanted to do some, work on with the county and with business organizations in the area, and been with the IDA I think for a number of years now, since when Executive Dooley was there, and it's been a rewarding experience. It's been good to see exactly what kind of business opportunities are out there for individuals looking for low interest or tax exempt bond financing. And I think it's a rewarding position to be in, and that's why I would like to be reappointed.
Thank you very much. Let me see if any of the council members have questions for Mr. Dundu. Anyone with any questions or comments for Mr. Dundu? All right then, Councilmember Harder. You are on mute, sir.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Dundu, since you have arrangement or a business relationship of your own, do you see any conflicts between what you do on a full-time basis than what you would do on a voluntary basis on this this commission?
No, there's no conflict of interest whatsoever. And also what happens for every bit of financing that comes forward to the IDA, there is an opportunity to recuse yourself also if there is a conflict of interest. But no, there is no conflict of interest with my position at Reliant versus what I do at the IDA.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else with any questions or comments for Mr. Dundu? Mr. Dundu, thank you so very much. I'm sorry, Councilwoman Clancy.
I'm sorry to sneak in at the last minute here. Mr. Dundu, can you just tell us a little bit more about what this board does and what have been the biggest challenges and opportunities during your service on the board?
So this board basically is a conduit issuer of tax-exempt bonds for nonprofits and manufacturing companies. And so in the time that I've been with the IDA, there's been a lot of financing that's taken place through the IDA, and a lot of it in nonprofit healthcare. Unfortunately, not too much on the manufacturing side. That's what I would like to see. manufacturing, creating jobs, that kind of thing. But as far as any problems, no problems at all. And it's been good. Basically, 2020 was a dead year, not many transactions or no transactions at all. And, because of obviously the pandemic going on. But otherwise, there are no issues at the IDA. And I think going forward, hopefully there'll be a lot of opportunities to look at manufacturing. And of course, there is, we come under the Economic Council, correct? So hopefully there is marketing efforts being made for manufacturing to get manufacturing businesses in looking for low income, low interest financing.
Great, thank you. And thank you for your service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Yes,
may I mention something for just a moment?
absolutely.
I noticed that we have 3 people on the call that do not need to be on this call. I think there was some confusion with Wendy Alper Pressman, Ms. Spencer, and Mr. Williams. You have already been confirmed by the council. You do not need to be on this meeting.
I thought I did see Raina Spencer there, and I thought we had done that as well. So thank you very much. And,
We
and
have.
so, go ahead.
I-
I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, I'm really on the call, not because I haven't been confirmed, but because I received an invitation from your office because I was confirmed before you became chair, and the request was that I be here. So that's why I'm here. But if I don't need to be, no disrespect, I'll go back to work.
Absolutely, and that was a faux pas from my office, and so if you would like to excuse yourself, please do so. And since you've already been through the process, there's no need for you to go through this wonderful process again. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Good
All
luck,
right,
everybody.
then.
Stay
Thank
safe
you,
and well.
and thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Thank you so much for that, Diane. I appreciate that. Any further questions or comments for Mr. Dundu? Thank you very much, Mr. Dundu. We appreciate you coming forward, and we will be forwarding a recommendation from this body to the full council for approval. All right?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You may stay on if you wish, but I'm sure your folks have other things to do, but you are officially excused. All right?
All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
And thank you so much. Next, we have Mr. G.
That's correct.
Okay. Mr. G, you are being considered for the St. Louis County Civil Service Commission. We do have your resume here, but just briefly give us a minute or two of what you, why you want to be on this board, and talk a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair, and council members. Thank you for having this today. So service has been something that I've been doing for quite some time. As a St. Louis County resident for the bulk of my adult life, I've reached a point where this is fulfilling work for me, is giving back to the community and the region. And so that's really the drive for me, is to support our government and our region. And this is one of the opportunities that have come forth. You'll see by my resume, I'm also an appointed trustee for the St. Louis Community College District, as well as serve as a vice chair for Covenant House of Missouri and board chair of RX Outreach. And those are two important, three actually important, what I would call givers within the community in terms of education, in terms of homeless youth, and providing prescription drugs to those who are below the poverty level. So this is another opportunity for me to serve. I'm in retirement, but staying engaged as a citizen.
You simply recently retired from Harris Stowe, correct?
Well, yeah, I was actually, and that was interesting. The previous president there asked me to come in and do some consulting for 18 months, and it turned into 4 years. So that was my second retirement. And so retired again from Harris Stowe after 4 years. But prior to that, had a long career with Monsanto, Motorola, Edward Jones, and Southwestern Bell.
How did you become involved with Covenant House?
Well, I was recruited to Covenant House, and the prior colleague at Monsanto at the time, now Bayer, was at Covenant House and recruited me and asked me to come down and spend some time. And the mission fits with my values around what we should be doing to support our kids who are at risk in the community. And I grew up not too far from Covenant House. I actually grew up right in the Penrose neighborhood, right there off of Shreve and Calvin. So it hits close to home.
Well, thank you much for your service on that. Covenant House is, I financially support them in having some personal experiences with them. So I think they do excellent work. So thank you so much for that. Any from the members of the council, do you have any questions or comments for Mr. G? None. Mr. G, thank you so much for coming before us today. We will be moving, as I said, with the others, and this is for all of you as well. We will be moving your nomination forward to the full council, and we appreciate and thank you for your willingness to serve, and good luck. All right, thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I'm sorry, one other thing I wanted to point out to you. Councilwoman Dunaway did join the meeting shortly after it started, just in case you didn't notice. Okay.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you so much. All right. And of course, Mr. G, you can excuse yourself if you choose to do so. We understand. Next is the Housing Resources Commission, and we're going to start with Nancy Jordan. Nancy?
Good evening.
How are you?
I am doing wonderful. How are you?
Fantastic. So, like all the others, we have your resume in front of us, and we'd appreciate a little introduction from yourself, and why do you want to serve on this Housing Resources Commission?
Sure. I thank you for the opportunity. My name is Nancy Jordan, and I am the founder and president of a nonprofit organization here in St. Louis called Biz by Faith. And primarily our mission is to help aspiring entrepreneurs to launch and grow their God-given vision for a business. And that's really my passion, is to help people to bring those things to life, those ideas and things they have inside of them, and see them grow. But I have been a long time volunteer and sometimes contractor with the Metropolitan St. Louis Equal Housing and Opportunity Council, or EHOC, here in St. Louis. And through my affiliation with that organization, I really have come to see the integration of housing in almost every aspect of community transformation. And so while my passion is really business development and seeing visions come to life, I recognize that you can't have true integrated community transformation without dealing with the basics, and that's housing. And so as when I first moved to St. Louis County in 1996, for law school here at Washington University, I actually was homeless for a time period while I was in school. And so I know what that experience is like. And my husband and I, we intentionally made the decision to move to Castle Point about 15 years ago. And so all of these factors have really shaped my view of the community. And I don't like politics, but I believe that through the Housing Resources Commission, it's a small area that I can have an impact in some of these issues that I believe about without really getting political. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I welcome the opportunity to serve in this capacity. Oh, I can't hear you, Ms. Days. I'm sorry.
Madam Chair.
I'm on mute, right? Okay. Did you mute me or somebody muted me? Okay, thank you. Well, I was about to say that if you have children, or if you're in a church, or if you're in a school, it's politics. So politics is everywhere. We can't get away from it. But anyway, I do understand your sentiment. I also want to say that I'm excited about your background in terms of housing, because we know how what the great equalizer housing is for many communities, and clearly for our community that it goes without saying. Let me see if any of the council members have any questions or comments for Ms. Jordan at this time.
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Webb.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mrs. Jordan, I thank you for joining us, and I thank you for putting out putting yourself there to serve your community. I have been newly engaged in Castle Point, and I understand the love that people have in Castle Point. And even though it has its challenges, there are people committed. And to see you here willing to serve with your credentials and making sure that everyone is invited to the table and everybody has an equal opportunity to have fair housing and also have safe housing is important. I really appreciate it. I enjoy reading your resume. Don't worry, I will have to reach out to you because of Castle Point and that both of us having that passion. But again, thank you, ma'am. I really, really appreciate you and for all that you will bring to this table. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else? The one thing that stuck out with me on your resume was a legally trained critical thinker. We're going to need a lot of that, all right? Anyone else? Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you so much for your willingness to serve. I join Councilwoman Webb in her sentiments, and we look forward to working with you regarding housing. So thank you so very much.
Thank you.
All right. Moving right along to Joe Cavato.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Mr. Cavato, would you introduce yourself? Give us a little something about your background and what interests you on the housing resources.
Yes, my name is Joe Cavato, and I'm pretty much fully retired from my consulting business right now. But my history in housing and community development goes back to the mid-'70s when I started out with the St. Louis County Office of Community Development, and then spent some time with the Housing Authority, then went on to a variety of positions, primarily in finance. But I've always had an interest in housing, community development, particularly low-income housing. And I am very much intrigued by some of the steps that the county has taken in the last few years to consolidate and sort of strategically plan its housing initiatives and combine them. And so when this opportunity came up, I was very glad to have the opportunity to apply for it and to hopefully have a role in the ongoing strategic planning of the county's initiatives in housing and community development. In the past, I have been on the boards of Beyond Housing for a number of years, the Missouri Workforce Housing Association, and a nonprofit called Horizon Housing that provides assistance to low and moderate income housing projects throughout the county and some other jurisdictions. So, like I say, this is kind of full circle for me.
Any questions from the council? It seems Councilman Tracus.
Ron, give me your position on social engineering.
On social engineering? I'm not quite sure that I have a definition for it.
And what I mean by it?
I guess, well, it depends. It can be applied to private sector, the public sector. I'm not exactly sure what the context would be or how it really fits into the Housing Resource Commission. But I do know that there are some tools and policies to be developed that are designed to impact public policy and outcomes. And to me, that's the kind of thing the government ought to be doing in conjunction with its private sector partners. So, but I wouldn't call that social engineering. I think social engineering has the flavor of something much more top down, much more imposed than something done collaboratively with the community and with the local government.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Cavato, I see where you are, I guess, currently principal and owner of JAC Consulting. And what do you do in that role?
What I had been doing is providing consulting services to low and moderate income housing developers, nonprofit entities, doing strategic planning, doing tax credit applications, and that sort of work.
And so do you think that's some kind of a conflict with what we're trying to do here?
At this time, I would not anticipate that would be a conflict because I don't have relationships with any entities or projects that I believe that the Housing Resource Commission is going to be involved in. But obviously, as the other gentleman said earlier, if something like that would come up, it could and would be resolved by either not participating in it or making sure that it met all the requirements. But at this time, I would not be aware of any.
Okay. Any further questions from the council members? No further questions? All right. Well, we thank you for your willingness to come forward and volunteer. I guess it's a volunteer position. I don't know. But anyway, to come and give us the service, give us the benefit of your wisdom in this area. And we will be probably moving your nomination to the full council. Nothing else? Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Mr. Adams,
Good afternoon.
how are you?
Great. And yourself?
Fine. Did we get your question answered?
Yes, we did.
All right. So would you do likewise? Would you give us a little background of you and why you want to serve on this commission?
Absolutely. I've been involved in both financing, real estate, and community development in the St. Louis area over the past 25 years in some capacity or another, mainly in financing and working with communities, low to moderate income communities, getting access to credit, home ownership opportunities, and also working with community organizations and community development in terms of getting substantial affordable housing available for potential homeowners. So with my background, it's always been a hybrid. I've always been half lender, half community advocate, half community technical assistance to organizations in the non-for-profit area. Currently, I work with a number of organizations like Beyond Housing. I serve as a housing facilitator where I give workshops on home ownership. I serve as chair of the Community Advisory Council with CASEL, which is the Community Action Agency of St. Louis County, whose mission is to eliminate poverty. So I work with those organizations, identifying resources for individuals who are in need. So I help people walk through the process, and I'm known as a connector of resources. And working with the Housing Commission, I feel that I can be a benefit to the commission in helping the commission to work through, especially with the issue of homelessness, as example of the recent Wellston issue. When housing was eliminated, there was an alternatives for the residents there. I can help St. Louis County navigate through those type of circles with my connections across the country and what I've experienced with different models and programs that I've encountered. And those same programs can be duplicated here in St. Louis County with some modification to bring additional alternative resources to those individuals in need. And that's why I have an interest in serving on this commission.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Any questions from the council? I see where you worked for NACA for a number of years. That's a very good organization. They have an excellent track record in helping those with challenged credit. The kind of ownership.
I was the individual who brought NACA to the St. Louis area in 2002. So I was a person who opened the original office. I was a one-person office, and then I built that office to an office of 9. And over a period of 9 years, we were able to successfully get into home people of low to moderate income status, over 255 people into homes with that product. So that's probably the premier point in my career when working with the NACA organization. So thank you for recognizing that.
Sounds great. Again, any questions or comments from the council members?
Mr. Adams, I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilwoman Webb.
Mr. Adams, I was wondering in your experience, your banking experience, and now that I understand more about the NACA organization, where have you been able to expand that across the region or specifically focused in just like the St. Anne area?
You mean the NACA?
Yes, sir.
Program? Well, Well, I was able to expand the NACA program in both the St. Louis and Southeast Illinois areas all around. So,
Okay.
multi-faceted expansion as far as even as far as Macoupin County, people have to gain access to the NACA product. So I gave workshops all across the region, north, south, east, and west, many churches, many organizations. So I was able to expand that program in a wide way across the region.
And yes, sir, the reason I was asking is because we have many challenged areas throughout St. Louis County, specifically in North County, and I didn't know if you still had any affiliation or there any active engagement that you have in NACA now. I noticed that it said 2003 through January 2012. So
That's correct. I haven't had any recent contact with the NACA organization, but I still are in contact with the agents who are still involved with that program, who are still working with that product. So it is still active. Now, I'm not sure how much footwork has been done since my time. I did a lot of footwork, which is how I got to know a lot of community organizations and groups and individuals. So, but it is still quite active and available for other areas in the county.
okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Webb, I don't think NACA is community specific. I don't think you have to be in a specific area to access there. I have some personal experiences with that too. So I don't think you have to be in a specific area to access their product.
That's correct.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Councilman Tracus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Adams, can you just describe for us in a little bit more detail how the financing works, how you're able to make financing available for people of lower income?
Primarily, people have had a tendency not to come to banking institutions
Right.
for many years because they've often heard no, come back when you're ready. And when the proper response should have been from those organizations and those financial institutions was to walk them through the process. That means it involves some hand-holding type of situations. So that's how I was able to get financing into the hands of those who need it, because I took the time to help them to understand the process, go through how to save money, how to do budgeting, how to go back and eliminate certain things out of your household operations. And see, most banks aren't set up to do that. Either you fit the criteria or you don't fit the criteria. And they think it's a waste of time to work with people in holding hands. And it's not. Because once they learn that process, they can have access to the other products that institutions offer. But if they're discouraged from even coming to the institution, they won't ever gain access. And therefore, they will never get beyond where they are. So you have to take the time to work with individuals so that those persons can become a part of the institution and have access to the other products that are available, as well as other communities and individuals.
Primary role was really from an education standpoint for the potential borrower.
That is correct.
And then
As
once
well
go ahead, I'm sorry.
As well as providing technical assistance to the organizations working with those individuals to give them access to the products of the bank.
So, right, my next question then is, once you did that, were the borrowers then able to obtain loans without any change in the criteria from the financial institution, or were you able to convince financial institutions to at least modify some criteria?
We had to go through some modification of the underwriting criteria, yes. And then part of what I did was find other product resources that I brought to the bank to get approved so that those individuals would have access. So yes, they did have to take some, what had to happen was some adjustments for underwriting so that people could qualify. And that did take some time to go through the process on the bank side. And once we did that, we was able to get those resources to the individuals who need it.
More power to you. It's very, very, very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else with any questions or comments? Well, thank you very much, Mr. Adams, for your willingness to help St. Louis County move forward, particularly in housing. We wish you well in your service, and we're here in case you need anything from us. Feel free to reach out at any time. Any further questions? Last call. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Councilwoman Days, for the opportunity to serve. Thank you.
Is Bishop Wooten on the call?
Madam Chair, Bishop Wooten did not accept the invite.
Okay. All right, so we move now to Terry Gannon.
And Madam Chair, Ms. Gannon did accept the invite, but she did not attend the meeting. Oh, wait.
She's here. She's here. She's here.
Where?
She's here from the
Oh, my
beginning, down
goodness.
at the bottom here, right?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Ms. Gannon.
It's
I didn't
okay.
see you down there.
Okay. Okay. So, I'm Terry Gannon. I'm with Remax. I have been in the, I've been a realtor since 1982. So like, do the math, that's almost 40 years. If you, oh, shoot, my phone. Okay, so like everything everybody's been talking about, like I work with all the agencies, I'm with the St. Louis Association of Realtors, I'm on committees and boards with them, the same with the Missouri Association of Realtors, I'm with advocacy, I've worked with Beyond Housing, Better Family Life, Castle, Justine Peterson, NACA, you name it, I've pretty much done it. Nancy, are you Will's wife? Yeah. So yeah, I think I even know people here. So yeah. So I choose to live in Normandy. I choose to live in North County. I think housing, I think home ownership is the best way for people to stabilize their families, build wealth, and create safe and secure neighborhoods. But if you can't buy, we also do rental, and we work with people, you know, to build their credit, clean up their credit, you know, pretty much whatever it takes. You know, I've never been an agent that, you know, took the easy, fast way, you know, in West County or St. Charles. You know, I'm working with the people every day. Home ownership, yeah, it's what I do.
All right, any questions or comments from, for Terry Gannon?
Madam
Anyone
Chair.
from the council? Yes, Councilwoman Webb.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Gannon, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for bringing that vast amount of experience from all of your years in serving in this capacity. My only question to you, Ms. Gannon, is now that you not only serve in this area, but you've lived in this area, you've seen over the 40 years how it's changed. What is your aspirations? What would you like to try to achieve as a member of this board? Or how would you like to change their perspective, or what would you like to see happen?
Well, seeing as I've never served on the board, I don't really know everything that you do, but I mean, after 40 years, and especially in North County, you know, I just feel like I have a lot of connections, a lot of experience, you know, and with the committees and the things that I've sat on, I think I just will know when I get there how I can contribute.
Thank you, Ms. Gannon, for that open and transparent, truthful answer that I have to learn. I don't know, and when I get there, I'm gonna do all that I can. So thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Webb. Councilman Harder.
Yes, thank you, Chairwoman. I just want to make a comment in interest of full disclosure. I know Terry well. We work in the same real estate company, but she would be an excellent member of this council. She's a dynamo. She's been a very strong advocate for North County and specifically for the first district and the area around UMSL where she lives. And I think she'll be a great asset to this this organization and those that touch it. Thank you.
Thank you,
thanks,
Councilman
Mark.
Harder. Councilman Tracus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Gannon, elaborate a little bit for us on what it is you've done in the past and how you approach helping people build their credit.
Well, if you work in North County, that's one of the biggest issues and the biggest roadblocks to home ownership. A lot of people don't have bank accounts. They don't use checking accounts. They pay cash for everything. So then that means that they don't have credit. So, you know, just working with them, with the lenders to open checking accounts, Beyond Housing, and the agencies that have classes on home ownership. So a lot of times I refer them to those agencies instead of, there are sharks out there, I'll call them, that will take people's money and tell them that they're going to help them build their credit, and all they're doing is making payments to them every month, and it's not really cleaning up their credit at all. So if I can connect them with one of the agencies that will really not only teach them about home ownership, but give them a leg up and a little handout and a grant, and you know, and sometimes even guarantee the loan for them. Sometimes when they've been through the program, show them how important it is to have a home savings account. So once we get them to that point, and sometimes, believe me, it takes years. I work with these people sometimes for years before they can purchase a home. But, you know, sometimes it's just how long it takes, you know, because with credit scoring, you know, it used to be, well, when I started in the business, there wasn't even a thing as a credit score. And so we worked different ways with people then, but now credit scores, it used to be you could get a loan with a 580 credit score. Now you can't even get a loan with a 620 credit score. So credit score is important, and you know, it's hard to do it on your own, and you just don't go from a 580 to a 620 in 6 months. It takes a long time and a lot of hard work. And people who are in that situation, you know, their incomes aren't that high, so that's why they're in that situation. You know, if they have a car breakdown, I mean, it can set them back. You know, if you don't have the money for those kind of things, then you can't get to work. It's a whole big thing. So, you know, you have to hold hands with these people for sometimes years before they can buy, but I do. And then they refer their kids to me, and I'm still doing business with the same people 40 years later, and their families and their kids and their grandkids. So
primarily then you build a relationship, and then through that relationship, you refer any given individual to the appropriate agency to then essentially educate them on how to build their credit. Would that be a fair summary?
And along with lenders who will work with those agencies too. Not all lenders do. So I work with lenders that are, you know, that work in the neighborhood.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Clancy, I saw your hand.
Yeah, just kind of a global comment. I don't have a specific comment for any one individual, but I just wanted to share some further context on the Housing Resources Commission Board. Part of the reason why we're seeing these appointments today is because a year and a half ago, this council, I sponsored and passed the Affordable Housing Trust Fund legislation, and part of that legislation was to expand this commission and specifically make sure that there are folks on this commission with lived experiences in the most distressed areas of North County and folks who have experienced being unhoused. And I have really high expectations for this commission, and I am pleased to see the caliber of folks that are here today to be appointed to this commission and all that they bring to the table, because I have no doubt in my mind that you all will help to meet those high expectations, especially as this county and this region starts to grapple with a new housing crisis brought on by COVID. There's a lot of people that need help right now. We're lucky to get federal money, but we've got a lot of work to do to connect all of the dots among all of the resources that are available to us here in St. Louis County with CDBG, with ESG, with the Affordable Housing Trust Fund money, which we also need more dollars for. So I'm just looking forward to this new commission being part of this work. And please reach out to any of us if we can be of assistance to you when you serve on this board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? And thank you, Councilwoman Clancy, for that. This is really, we, as I said earlier, housing and having a decent place to live is a great equalizer, and it affects so many other things, including your health care, where you live and how your children are educated. Those things are all part of a housing situation. And sometimes in St. Louis County, that's not in the best of light. But in full disclosure, I guess as well, I have to acknowledge that I know Terry Gannon as well and have known her for, it hasn't been 40 years, but I've known her for a long time. So, all right. Anyone else? Anyone else? Listen, Terry, thank you so much for coming forward and helping us with this situation. As Councilwoman Clancy said, we're looking for great things to come out of this commission. All right?
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you so much. And that would end all of the potential appointees for the Housing Resources Commission. I guess, Diane, we will reach out, or you will reach out, or my office will reach out to Bishop Wooten and see if he is interested in being confirmed for his position. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, thank you. So we will move on to the second Board of Equalization, and we'll start with Mr. Cope. Is that correct? Did I say that correctly? Mr. Coke is not here. Mr. Cameron,
Hello.
how are you?
Hello.
I'm sorry. I didn't see you. You must have been on mute.
This is
Mr.
Bob
Coke,
Cope.
thank you for coming today, and we'd appreciate if you would give us a little background. Again, we have your resume, so we don't have to necessarily go in depth to that. But tell us why you want to be a part of the Equalization Board.
Okay, my name is Bob Coke. I'm a certified, state certified residential real estate appraiser. I've been appraising for 35 years. I worked for the county for 13 years, and the last 4 years, 4 years plus or minus, I was a supervisor of the team of appraisers that handled all the STC appeals, the State Tax Commission appeals. So I'm very familiar with this process. I retired 2 years ago, and last year I was a hearing officer for the Board of Equalization. I enjoy helping the people out, and when their values need reducing, recommend reductions. I feel I'm a good set, given my background, a good fit, given my background, helping correct the values where needed. And I'm also interested in the exemptions that the board handles.
Okay. Any questions or comments for Mr. Coke? Seems like he's been around, so some of you might know him. Councilman Harder.
Yes, Mr. Coke, are you familiar, or do you specialize in just real residential or commercial or other specialties?
I am certified as a residential real estate appraiser, so I have not gotten into commercial real estate that much.
Is it your understanding that you would then not be on the board that might handle commercial, or are you on the understanding that you might do both?
It's my understanding, right now, I think it's up in the air yet. I'm not sure on how that's going to be set up, whether they're going to have one board do residential, one board do commercial, or if both boards are going to do a combination of the two.
Okay. If you were called on to do both or either one, do you feel comfortable doing either one or both?
I would feel comfortable, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Coke? Mr. Coke, what kind of training did you have to do this? You have to go to school, or?
Yes,
I'm not sure.
that's been a long time ago. We went to different classes when we were just independent fee appraisers, and you had to become a member of one of the organizations, whether it be the Society of Real Estate Appraisers or the Independent Fee Appraisers. And in 1992, this FIREA came along, and that's when certification of real estate appraisers came about. And that's when I became certified.
Okay. So you are currently retired, and so this is something that you can do regardless of what the hours are. You don't have any conflicts with that, correct?
That is correct.
All right. Any other questions or comments from Mr. Coke? All right. Well, thank you so very much for your willingness to serve, and we look forward to. I don't want to hear the the people coming to me; they'll come to you.
Thank you.
It's all right. All right, then. Thank you so kindly for your time, and you have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to Mr. Kammerer.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I see you there. So we again have your resume, and just tell us a little bit something about you and what you want to accomplish on this board.
I've been a commercial appraiser for a little over 25 years. Used to have one of the larger commercial appraisal offices in St. Louis. Now just on my own. This is something that I've been interested in doing for a number of years, but have always been too busy to do it. But at this point in time in my life, it's a perfect opportunity for me to come forward and provide this service. As I've finally, my family situation is perfect to allow me to step forward and do this. So I'm excited about the opportunity.
Wonderful, wonderful. How did you get here from Wyoming?
Well, my family was originally from Illinois, and we moved to Wyoming in the recession of '81. And after I graduated from college, I came back and found a job in St. Louis, and I've been here ever since.
Well, we're glad to have you. Any questions of the from the council? Any questions or comments from the council? Anyone? Councilman Tracus.
Hey, Mr. Kammerer, could you just email me some directions to Wyoming?
Yeah. It's a beautiful place.
Thanks. No, thank you for your willingness to serve.
Absolutely. Thank you, Councilman Tracus. Anyone else? Anyone else? We do appreciate you coming forward, Mr. Kammerer. We wish you luck in your service, and thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Moving right along to Ms. Kunzler. Is that correct? Did I say it correctly? You are on mute, ma'am.
Sorry, I thought I had unmuted me.
That's all right. That's okay.
Thank you.
We do it all the time. All right. So would you tell us a little bit about yourself and
Yes.
why you want to serve on this board?
I have been a real estate appraiser for 40 plus years. I have a general certification from the state of Missouri. Mr. Koch mentioned about licensing and certification coming up several years ago. I do commercial and residential properties and have done so for the past 40 years. I had my own company for a while, but I also retired last year. I just found it wasn't for me, so I went back to work. I work as a residential real estate reviewer. I do it remotely, and it's at my convenience, so it would not interfere with any service on the board. I also teach real estate appraisal courses from qualifying education, continuing education, as well as ethics and standards, and I've done that for about 25 years. I served on the prior Board of Equalization for about 5 years, from 2016 to 2020. I found it quite a rewarding experience, and I believe my expertise and availability to understand real estate appraisal problems will help both St. Louis County Assessor's Office and property owners to attain fair values. I think that's probably it. I'm happy to be considered for the second board. The process has changed because I understand it will be virtual, and it'll be a little different from seeing 25,000 appeals in person. So I'm looking forward to it.
And all of that from a journalism degree. How wonderful.
Yes, but I learned how to write, so that's what happens.
Okay. All right. All right. Any questions or comments from Ms. Kunzler? Any questions, comments at all? All right. All right. Well, listen, thank you so kindly for coming forward and lending your expertise in this. This is sometimes can be a very challenging position here. because you were, kind of arguing back and forth with people and their worth. And so,
Exactly. Thank you,
yeah,
Madam
yeah.
Chair.
So I do understand that. But thank you so much for your willingness to serve, and we will be moving your application and forward with the full council. All
Thank you
right?
very much.
And
Thank you.
thank you for coming. Thank you so kindly. All right, so we're going now to the Business Advisory Council, and it has Alejandro Santiago Ortega. Is that correct?
Yes. Hello.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everybody. Again, my name is Alejandro Santiago, and currently I serve as the membership manager at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Metropolitan St. Louis. And my desire to join the Advisory Council is to really advance the economic development of businesses in St. Louis. I believe that entrepreneurship and having a healthy business, it's really beneficial for a region because this really impacts a lot of sectors. So, behind a business, there's always a family, and so that would really benefit, would affect in a lot of ways, education that affords better housing, better home, better quality of life for the family. And so the chamber have been able to see firsthand the needs of the business community. And I believe that I would provide a point of view that would really help minority-owned businesses and businesses in general in the region. So I'm really excited.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from, now the last name is Ortega, is that correct? Because they only put
Correct.
Santiago up there. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. Questions or comments? Councilman Fitch.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Santiago, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is centered around St. Louis County. Is that where you are?
So we are located, the office is located in St. Louis City. However, the scope of the work that we do is the metropolitan area. So that really goes to the county, but we also have members in the Illinois, southern part of Illinois, and also in Kansas City.
And that's good to know, because what I was wondering is there's been differences between the city and the county on the health mandates, correct?
Yes, there have been some little differences, but when we started gathering all the information to provide to our members in English and Spanish, we saw there were some similarities. There were more similarities than differences.
Okay, and as far as your membership, has it declined as a result of the pandemic and the health orders, or is it steady? Is it increasing?
It has been both. So there has been some members that have dropped, but we have seen that for 2020 we got 100 members, and some of those members were new businesses that started just from zero, from registering with the Secretary of State. So we have seen some new businesses, some others joining because they're trying to get more employees. So it really depends on which industry they're coming from.
Okay, is there certain areas of St. Louis County you would like to see develop with Hispanic-run businesses?
So I would say
successful.
So I would say there is a lot of need in the industry of contractors. There's so much that it can be done. So I would say that is one aspect that I will be looking into a little bit more. And so also I'm looking to really improve the way services are provided in a bilingual manner. There's a lot of entrepreneurship that comes from other individuals that are foreign born, and so they needs to just go through the process of registering their organization. And so just looking more into that to make it more accessible. And that way, we benefit the region in general, because we have this new businesses coming and just making more businesses in our region.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anyone else with a comment or question for Mr. Ortega?
Madam
Councilman
Chair.
Harder. Councilman Harder.
I just want to announce I've got to step away for right now, and I will catch up with you on the meeting tonight.
Thank you so much. Councilwoman Webb.
Yes, ma'am. I was just going to pull on that thread that Councilman Fitch was talking about, that growth in industry for Hispanic businesses. Do they see the St. Louis area surrounding, specifically the county area, as an opportunity for growth? Are they attracted to this area for Hispanic businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. So in demographic aspect, the majority of the Hispanic population live in the St. Louis County. So really, there is the Hispanic population is scattered in the St. Louis region. So there isn't a place where all of the Hispanics are, such as in Chicago or California. In St. Louis, is everywhere, and the majority is in the county. So people tend to start doing business where in the place where they live. So I would say it's of course a need of businesses to start whatever idea they're having. And so this is a reason that I'm looking to be in this board, to really make it accessible for everybody to start their dream and just to advance whatever idea they're having.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And thank you. And Mr. Ortega, I'm excited to have you with us. We've had challenges in many areas regarding outreach, and certainly the business community is one of those. Healthcare is the other. And so hopefully with your leadership on this we can make inroads to addressing some of those concerns and challenges that we face right now. Any other questions from Mr. Ortega at this point? Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for coming forward. I noticed that you haven't been long out of law school, and so hopefully that you'll give us a fresh new look at how some of the things are done. And so I do appreciate your coming forward and willing to give your service to St. Louis County. Last call. Anything else? No other questions for Mr. Ortega? Thank you so much for your willingness to serve. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments?
We actually do, Madam Chair. We have one public comment from Cindy Winkler. She says, I have not a thing in the world against the Bishop Lawrence Wooten. As a matter of fact, I do not even know him. However, we do share a zip code. I find it very odd that you would be choosing someone as a distressed area resident, Dr. Page, from an area that is not economically distressed. That may surprise you that not all of North County is distressed. I am also surprised, Dr. Page, you would choose someone whose ministries and churches and centers are in the city of St. Louis and not the county. If I am wrong about this, please accept my sincerest apologies. The fear is that the county executive is calling on Bishop Wooten for political reasons versus true and sincere motivations to help people. Why not someone from Castle Point or Bell Fountain Neighbors? That's all the public comments, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion? I think that unless I hear otherwise, we only had one that did not a show today, and that was Bishop Wooten. And so if it is the appropriate thing to do, we will move forward with these appointments unless there is objection from someone from the council. Is there? I see none.
Excuse me, Madam Chair.
Councilman Tracus first.
Madam Chair, I have some concerns about Mr. Cavato. I think that it's highly likely he's conflicted with respect to his past history and current enterprises. So it would be difficult for me to support his confirmation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Tracus. Councilwoman Webb.
Madam Chair, I just want a clarification. The last statement that you said that we're moving forward with Mr. Wooten, Bishop Wooten's recommendation to support.
No, I said he did not show for the confirmation. So we have to hold him.
Okay. I would like to see him appear so we can have that same conversation with him.
Right.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Any other comments or questions or concerns? All right, well, hearing none, I think a motion to adjourn is in order.
So move.
Second,
Second, Clancy.
all in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. And those of you who are still on, thank you so very much for staying the length of the meeting with us. And we will hopefully be working with you sometime in the future. Everyone have a good evening. I'll see the council members around 6. Thank you.
Thank you.